Baby, it's time. Woo! What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Junior's World of Soul. I am back with the new video representing R&B the right way, the authentic way. As you can hear, I came in with Devin Morrison. It's time from his album Bussin', which is one of my favorite R&B albums of the year. I listen to this album at least once a day. I love this album so much. But now normally it would be current R&B bangers, or, for the month of July, I started doing videos, so y'all can get to know JR a little better, you know what I'm saying? And, new subscribers and all that good stuff. So I wanted to, give y'all different sides of JR. So my last video was a characteristic that y'all see me doing every one of my videos is dance. So I wanted to give y'all songs that really made me get on the dance floor. And then another one, this one was actually going to be, songs that I really sing and give my emotions to. And I was going to give y'all little personal stories and all that, but it kind of went left because for the longest it's been going on for a while, but I've just been like whatever with it. How everybody really feels like R&B is dying and it's not here, and mainstream's really been given that. But I felt like with me doing current R&B bangers for like the past 3 years, I'm like, you know what, rather than me just try to defend it all the time, let's just do, my current R&B bangers. And that's how I came up with it. And but it's like artists these days now with R&B not really in the front runner of, mainstream America. It seems like every artist that comes out, they always say, I'm going to bring R&B back. And it really started with me when Tyrese did it back in 2015 when he brought out his Black Rose album, when he was like, oh, I'm going to bring R&B back and I'm going to do this and I'm going to have no hip hop on the album and it's going to be a full album, which he didn't even do all his research. And I'm glad that Tank and to me and all these other artists kind of came at him, letting him know, like, dude, we've been doing that. You know what I mean? And it's like, to me, Tyrese just used that to try to get his album to go to #1 and really sell. You know what I mean? But he still had no really hit single off it. He had Shame, but it was on the adult R&B, it didn't get played really on mainstream radio. So all that he did, it didn't do anything. And it's like every artist that comes out now, it's like, R&B artists that's kind of, been in the game for a while. It's like, I'm going to bring R&B back and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, come on already. You know what I mean? And I saw maybe 2 weeks ago, my brother Sin sent me a thing with Bobby Valentino saying, oh, I made an R&B album and people didn't support it and blase, blase, blase. And, I feel like, people keep talking about they want real R&B and I give it to them and it doesn't do anything. And it's like, really? Like, you've been in the business for this long and you know how this works. And I was like, you know what? Instead of me, really like just going on Twitter and going on a rant, I have a platform that I use. So I said, you know what? This video, I'm going to explain what I feel about how people say R&B is alive and well, or how it was dying and it's not alive and well. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I said, with all that being said, I'm going to make a video talking about it. So let's begin with this. Like I said, when Tyrese did it back in 2015 with his Black Rose, I already knew it was for clout. Because, right then and there, before maybe 2004, 2005, R&B was definitely it was a change. Actually, to be honest with you, we can go all the way back to like 1997, when really hip-hop started to really be a force in mainstream America. Because before then, it was like R&B was really on lock. It was really what the powers that be, those ones that really like BMG and all them publishing companies and all that, really, these executives really was pushing R&B. That's why we had so many R&B artists. We had so many R&B female groups, so many R&B male groups. We had so many artists. It was so serious that a lot of artists was, overlooked because we had so much R&B out there. You know what I mean? But, during that time, it was like hip hop was becoming a little bit more, it was becoming more popular. You know what I mean? Because in the 80s, people kind of call that the golden era of hip hop, which it really was, but it really started becoming mainstream in like 1997 with Bad Boy and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. It kind of, it started really, you knew that hip hop was really a seller when it became the Snoop, and Snoop sold like 680,000 copies in the first week. That's when you knew, okay, hip hop is on the rise and it's going to eventually pass R&B. But at that point, R&B was really what it was, and thank God to Mary, who's my favorite artist, really kind of mixed the two together. You know what I'm saying? She had the hip hop swag, she had, that hip hop look, but she was doing R&B music. You know what I mean? So it really made mainstream look into hip hop a little more than what it was. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of our R&B artists that were dressing street. You know what I'm saying? Had the, SWV, they were looking like girls from around the way. They had the hip hop swag. You had Escape dressing like that. You had Jodeci. You had, all these artists that really had the hip hop swag, but it wasn't completely mainstream yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it was like R&B was running the 90s. It was really running it. So it's like you had somebody like Mary J. Blige that was the popular artist in like 92, 93, 94, but you still had somebody like Anita Baker that was still selling as well. She was still getting hits. You still had Luther that was still selling. You still had Peabo Bryson that was still getting a #1 record. You still had Patti LaBelle. You still had Aretha Franklin. You still had these older artists that were still selling that were R&B artists, but it was like you still had the ones that was in front, like the Marys, the SWV, the Escape, the In Vogue, Boys the Men, all these, Tony, Janet, Whitney, all these R&B artists were still able to be current and sell, but R&B was it. But once hip hop really became mainstream, you saw it. So R&B really was about to take a back seat because they had it. You know what I'm saying? My genre had it. But once it changed, you really started seeing really hip-hop really. That's when you had, Bad Boy coming in. Then you had No Limit. Then you had Cash Money. And it was all about hip-hop. And it really became mainstream. So by 2002, 2003, really it was like hip-hop was in front. You know what I'm saying? It was really in front of R&B. And you saw like a lot of our artists really not really getting the love that they used to. These labels wasn't giving, R&B artists $1 million budgets anymore. It was going to hip hop. So by 2004, 2005, and once trap and, Atlanta really solidified their place in, music culture, it was like R&B really took a dive. And it wasn't all about that anymore. And the powers that be was like, look, R&B ain't selling. You know what I mean? And it was what it was. And I saw it. I saw the change. I knew. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But we still have people like Mariah with Emancipation of Mimi, and Usher with Confessions, and Mary J. Blige with, her Breakthrough, and Jamie Foxx with Unpredictable. We still had our artists hitting #1, but it wasn't the same anymore. It wasn't like, oh, you got a guaranteed #1 smash when you came out, because you had hip-hop artists that you had to compete with. So by then, it's like, by 2007, it was a wrap. It was like, whoa, R&B ain't what it is anymore, and we just have to deal with it. But thank God for the internet, and, people, really was starting to put their things out on the internet. So then we started getting things like SoundCloud and Automac, and YouTube was helping that too. But it was like then, it was like now, it was like now you don't even know what the difference between R&B and hip hop is now. But it really bothers me when we have, our artists, R&B artists that really been here for a minute and knows how this goes. It's like, stop telling the world that, R&B is dying when we have the internet. We have the internet. We have websites like Rated R&B. We have websites like You Know I Got Soul, This Is R&B, Singers Room, Junior World of Soul with current R&B bangers. We have so many platforms for R&B, and we talking about real R&B. So when these artists come out and say, "Oh my God, R&B is dying, and I'm gonna revive it," and it's like, you out of touch, because we have the internet. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not, you got to understand, like, the internet really changed a lot of things. Hello, Napster changed a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So you knew that technology was going to change. But at the end of the day, R&B is here. You know what I'm saying? So I wish these artists stop going on their platforms and saying that they're gonna revive R&B and they're gonna, they did a dope R&B record and nobody support. It ain't got nothing to do with support. We're supporting you out here, but at the end of the day, it's the powers that be really don't want R&B to go what it is. Jazz has gone through this. You know what I'm saying? After a while, there's going to be something, a new genre that's going to come, and hip-hop is going to start going down. You know what I'm saying? But, hip-hop is kind of fairly new because it's only about 45 years old. You know what I'm saying? R&B has been since, you can kind of consider it the 1950s, because before then it was really about blues and jazz and all that was really into one. But R&B really kind of started in the 50s. So R&B really got some age. So it's time for a new genre to be hot. But don't get me wrong, R&B is still alive and well, and it just bothers me that we have, our R&B artists that try to use that to say, I made a real R&B album and y'all should support this and forget this, nobody's supporting me anymore. It ain't got nothing to do with that. R&B is not getting promoted like it should on mainstream. So you got, and I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus, but it is what it is. You got somebody like Adele that's getting a $20 million budget, but you have somebody like Jasmine Sullivan that's getting a $500,000 budget. And they both are great singers. I mean, at the end of the day, we know Jasmine Sullivan could definitely sing Adele Under the Table, no shade. But it just shows you, you know what I'm saying, what it is. You know what I mean? And it just bothers me. And it's like, it just again shows how out of touch our R&B artists are, and that's why we're not succeeding how we are in mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done current R&B bangers for the past, like I said, 3 years, and just this year, I have so many different artists that I have talked about. And they are doing R&B music, and you're gonna tell me it's dead? I talked about over 50 artists actually on current R&B bangers this year, and we're only in the month of July. So you telling me the R&B is dying and is dead? That's not true. It's just like, I wish these artists stop using that for clout. Please stop with the R&B is dead and it's not here and you're gonna bring it back, because that's not true. Because if the powers that be want you to sell, they're gonna put the money behind you. At the end of the day, R&B is at kind of the bottom of the totem pole. Hip hop is what it is right now. So they putting all their money into hip hop artists because they know they're gonna get it back. The trap and all that good stuff. But thank God we have, again, we have Rated R&B, we have You Know I Got Soul, we have Singers Room, This Is R&B, really publications that really represent R&B the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I just find it very annoying, and I felt like I had to come and speak my piece because I'm a lover of R&B music, and yes, I felt that way, maybe I say 10 years ago, I felt that way. I was like, this is some bull. Where's R&B? But we're not on the radio no more don't mean it's dead. You know what I mean? And it's just sad. You know what I mean? It's sad, but I feel like our artists have a platform. Use it, but use it the right way. Don't let the consumer know I did an R&B album and y'all didn't support it. We support it, but mainstream don't care. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to make a quick video for y'all. It was a quick rant, but also I want y'all to check out all of these artists that I talked about on Current R&B Bangers, and I'm gonna go down a list. I might be more that I talked about, because at the top of R&B right now is her, Khalid, Daniel Caesar, and Lucky Day is getting there. You know what I'm saying? He got that exposure on the BET Award. These are kind of the people that kind of represent R&B with that current swag, and they kind of, you know, are connected to the young, but they also have that, you know, old soul to them. So they're connected to people like me that's an R&B level. But we have so many other R&B artists, and I'm going to go down this list, and please, y'all, check these people out because they are dope. Jay Ronell, Jonte Austin, Josh Waters, Avery Wilson, Amber Simone, Corey L., Lucky Day, Ricardo Williams, Devin Morrison, Tiana Major 9, Cedar Bay, James Davis, Lipstick Gypsy, Cedric Bazille, Kyle Dion, B. Trenton, Emily King, John Lewis, what's his name? I'm sorry. Jermaine Riley, Cautious Clay, John Vinyl, Aaron Allen Kane, Ballad, The Shandellas, India Irie, The Hammertones, Nicole Buss, Mickey Howard, Fonte, Vance Just, John B., Darnell Jones, Jordan Banks, Brian McKnight, Anderson Paak, Amber Mark, E.J. Mallett, Duran Jones and the Indicators, Avant, Dawn Richards from Danity Kane. Like, we have so many artists out there, y'all. Like, I just really named y'all like 20 artists that just have recent music. You know what I'm saying? There's so much more. Sage Harris. I have so many of these artists that I talked about on Current R&B Bangers to show y'all that R&B is alive and well, for real, and they ain't going nowhere. I'm trying to tell y'all. So before I end this video, I definitely want to shout out people that represent R&B the right way. Again, these sites y'all should definitely check out. You Know I Got Soul, which is a favorite of mine. Rated R&B. This is R&B. Singers Room. Check out SoundCloud, Automac, even YouTube. Junior's World of Soul with Current R&B Bangers. Y'all, it is R&B out there. Please do not let mainstream fool y'all. And please, artists, can we stop saying that we're going to bring R&B back? It's alive and well. We have the internet. So please, y'all, R&B is alive and well. I'm going to ride for this genre until the end. And hopefully you guys really kind of catch my rant a little bit. I know I may have been all over the place trying to give y'all a little bit of history of it. You know what I'm saying? And give y'all artists. But it really just bothered me. And I really had to say something. So again, y'all, thank y'all for listening. R&B is alive and well. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.